You are watching Start That Business Show with our business coach, Evelyn.
Hi, I'm delighted to have you yet again in this episode of Start That Business Show. My name is Evelyn, a business coach and the show host. So welcome. The last few years have seen an increased number of cars on the road. When you drive on any roads in any city or any town in Kenya, you will see an increased number of cars. But this has presented different business opportunities that you may want to look into. So in today's show, we want to discuss how you can make money by starting a car wash. So before we look into how this business goes, we want to talk about the different requirements that you need to successfully run this type of a business. So what then are the requirements? I'm going to go straight away to the first requirement, which is location. For a location, you will need a yard from where you will operate. This can come in the form of a 5 by 5 meter yard, which you can lease. Most yards come at anything between 10,000 to 50,000 shillings, depending on the location. But acquiring the yard is not enough, because after you acquire it, you will need to do some groundwork to bring it to a level where you would want to operate. For example, you might need sand and ballast to cement the floor so that the place doesn't get so muddy as you're working. You will also need to construct your drainage so that water from the cars that you're washing can easily drain down. So that sets it for the yard. The next thing that you will consider, the number 2 point that you will consider, are the equipment. What equipment do you need to run a car wash? The most important equipment that you need, the first one, is a machine, a high pressure car washing machine. Most of these machines, a new machine would go for 100,000 shillings, but a refurbished one could go for anything between 50,000 to 60,000 shillings. So depending on what your budget is and what you are able to afford, you can look within those ranges to get you a nice high pressure car washing machine. With your machine at hand, you are going to need accessories which will make it possible for you to work. For example, you will need liquid soap, you may need car washing machines, you will need the scrubbing equipment, the basin. So you will need accessories to the tune of 5,000 shillings or 10, depending on the type of accessories that you are buying. Once all that is figured out, you need to find out whether you're in the right books with the authorities. For instance, you require a business operating license, which can be acquired from your county offices, your nearest county office, at about 10,000 shillings. You also will need to check with NEMA to clear you and give you the necessary authorizations and clearances. With your licenses in place, you should be ready to go. But that is not enough. Starting and having your licenses is not enough, because you have to let the customers that you are targeting know that you exist. So that takes us to the number 3 point, which is marketing. So how exactly can you market? Marketing is very important, and it starts from within your circles. One of the ways that you can market is through word of mouth, just walking around informing the people who you know that you have started a business that they might want to try. You can also consider social media, which has become a really vibrant means of communication and a means of marketing. And social media avenues that we have include Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or any that you use, but consider using them really as your strong marketing outlets. So in the next point, I'll be explaining to you how you can leverage on the existing social media platforms. You can market very well on the social media platforms by at least posting, or even just putting something in social media at least on a daily basis, or every so often as will be comfortable for you. But before you start using social media, you will need to have the information that you want to pass across to your audience. The information that would be useful to you is the location. You need to inform your audience. You need to inform your audience, who are also your customers, where you are located. You also would like to inform them about your prices. And as you inform them about your prices, make sure that they are competitive enough so that you gain a competitive advantage compared to your competitors. So walk around, scout around, and find out what competitors charge and set your prices very competitively. For example, to wash a small car, a saloon car, you might charge 300 shillings for one car. And to wash an SUV, you might charge 500 shillings. So set your prices and make sure that you have the prices so that you can communicate them to your clients through social media channels. But posting your information alone is not enough in the social media platforms. Once in a while, you might need to boost your pages, and this might be at a cost of approximately 5,000 shillings per month, and this can give you quite a leeway with your clients. It can get you out there and they will be able to know that you exist. In addition to social media marketing, you might also want to consider outdoor marketing. This can come in the form of flyers, street banners, or even branding. Branding can even be the physical branding of the place where you are operating, in addition to branding yourself as the owner of the car wash. So all those are going to add up into your marketing effort, and they will put you out there to the customers that you are targeting. So I'm going to my fourth point, which is manpower, or the personnel that you need to wash the different cars. So walk around, scout around for reliable people, and if possible, they need to be experienced, because these are the people that you will need on a day-to-day basis to work on the cars. And how much are they paid? Most of them are paid a commission of whatever amount of money they bring in per day, and this can be 40% of the amount of money brought per car, or depending on how you will agree. So you as the owner of the car wash will retain 60% and the worker goes home with 40%. Given the amount of money that you're going to pay the people who wash the cars, I want to consider with you the profit scenarios in this type of a business. In a day, on a bad day, you probably could wash 20 cars at the minimum. A saloon car would mostly be washed for 300 shillings and an SUV is washed for 500 shillings. So I want to take a scenario where maybe your sales are not so good and you don't wash so many cars. So I will take a situation where maybe you wash 20 cars per day. In case you wash 20 cars per day and they are saloon cars, your take home for that day would be 6,000 shillings. Saloon cars are mostly washed at 300 shillings and SUVs are washed at 500 shillings. So I'm looking at a day where maybe sales are not so high and you maybe end up washing just 20 cars per day. So in a case where you wash 20 saloon cars per day, you will end up making 6,000 on that particular day. But if these 20 cars were SUV cars, then on this day you are going to make 10,000 shillings per day. But that is not what you will take home, because you still haven't paid the person who washed the cars. So going by an arrangement where you're paying your worker 40%, on the day that you make 6,000 shillings after washing 20 saloon cars, you will take home 3,600 shillings, and that is your daily sales. But I'm imagining that you will rest in one day per month. That could be a Sunday or any day as you will choose. So supposing you worked for 26 days per month, your entire profit for that month would be 93,000 shillings, and that is on a bad case scenario. So let us now consider a situation of a good day in your business. I'm assuming you have made concerted efforts in marketing and your business has grown. So in a good day, you could wash up to 50 cars per day. In a case that you wash 50 saloon cars, you will make 15,000 shillings at the end of the day. But remember that you are yet to pay your employee. That is the person who washed the different cars that you washed. So if we assume that you are going by the arrangement of 40% to the employee, you will take home 9,000 shillings on this particular day. So let's look at 1 month. How does this then behave if we look at it over a 1 month period? Suppose you rest on one day so that you operate on 26 days in a month. The amount of money that you will make will be the 9,000 shillings that you make per day times the 26 days, which will be 234,000 shillings. So again, these figures can be less or high depending on the number of cars that you have washed per day. And also the agreement with your workers will largely depend on how you have agreed and what works for you. I have just shared with you what's common in the market, but each and every situation is unique and it is really based on the arrangement that you have with your workers. So there you go. Choose your location wisely, get your employees, do your marketing, and determine the profits that you can make. After looking at the two revenue scenarios on a good day and on a bad day, the profits that you will make will largely depend on the amount of money you're paying your employees and the overall overheads in your business. This will come in the form of lease, the amount of money that you will pay to the landlord, water bills, and electricity bills. Water bills and electricity bills will mostly reflect on the amount of usage, but that can be kept at a minimum. In addition to the people who wash the cars, who are paid on a percentage basis, you will end up having staff who are retained on a salary. And one such person is maybe the security person, or maybe you have a receptionist, or maybe you have somebody who mans the CCTV. So the number of people that you retain on a salary will also count as salaries, will also count as costs in your business. So the profits that you will make will come after you have deducted all this. The number one thing is rent, the amount of money that you are paying to the person who you have leased the ad from. Then the salaries, which is both the commissions and the people who are on a retainer salary. And then overheads like electricity and water bills. And then the money that you use for buying accessories like detergent and car washing equipment and sprays if you need. So after you remove all that, you will end up with your profit, which can be high or low depending on how work goes for you. Another important thing I want to mention is security. For you to successfully run a car wash, you will have to heighten security at your premises. But how exactly do you heighten security? The first thing you can consider doing is securing the place. You can maybe fence it and have just one central entrance and exit so that you are able to track whoever comes in and comes out. And a supervisor, employing a supervisor will go a long way so that they can also help monitor the movement both for people and cars after they are in. Consider having a CCTV camera because this will give you an additional way of keeping tab of whatever happens within your car wash. Also, inventory. Keep a very strong inventory system in which the moment a car drives in, it is entered into a record so that at any given time, you know the number of cars that are in and the number of cars that are out. This is not only going to be important for you in terms of security, but it will also help you do your bookkeeping. It will help you at the end of the day with your record keeping so that you know the number of cars you washed and therefore how much money you should be having in your account. That's all I had for you, but that is not enough. We really could not have talked about it because it would have been a really long video. But if you want more information or if you want to engage with us, please reach out to us on the numbers given below. You can send us a text message or write to us a message on the chat buttons below, or engage with us on any of our social media platforms, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and we will gladly get back to you. I've been your host, Evelyn, and it's been my pleasure hosting you on the show. And I look forward to the next episode when I shall host you again and share with you many business ideas that you do not want to miss. So keep watching. We will get back to you, and till then, it's bye.